Namaskar, welcome back to your geography class. I'm your geography teacher Sukhdeep Kaur. We have already started our chapter number 2 with the discussion of its first topic. We have divided this chapter in few parts on the basis of our convenience so that the things will become more easier for us, for me to teach, for you to understand. So we have already discussed the Himalayan mountain itself. We have discussed about the division of Himalayans on two bases, on the basis of ranges and regions and the entire features of Himalayan mountains. In today's class, we are going to talk about the northern plains and peninsular plateau itself. So, another two prominent geographical or physical features of India. So, let's start our today's class with the first topic, that is the northern plains. Lies in the northern part of India, also known as Gangetic Plains. Extra information, Gangetic Plains. So, let's start. Formed by the interplay of the three major river system. So, particularly and in simplest form, what you have to understand from the first statement, that northern plains are formed with the help of the three major rivers that flows through the entire northern part of India, along with its tributaries and distributaries. What are tributaries and distributaries? So let me throw a minor light onto that. Tributaries. Likewise, if a main river used to flow, if any river is taking the outlet of water from the main river, this is the main river, and if any small river or just kind of river is taking the outlet of water from the main river, it will be known as distributary. And if any river is giving the inlet of the water to the main river, it will be known as tributary. So, distributary, tributary, this is the concept. So, these northern plains are formed by the tributaries, distributaries and the three main rivers. Which are those three main rivers? Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Three of them directly indirectly originates from the Himalayas itself. Indus Ganga river originates nearby the Mansarovar lake within the Himalayas itself, not from Indian Himalayas part itself. So these originates by the western part and Brahmaputra originates from the Himalayas itself nearby Mansarovar lake, but by the eastern part itself. As Brahmaputra enters India from the eastern extent, that is from Arunachal Pradesh, and Indus and Ganga enters from the western part, from likewise Indus enters in Ladakh and Ganga enters in Himachal and Uttarakhand, because from that point two prominent rivers are there, Alkananda and Bhagirathi, both of them combined in Indian territory, and from thereafter forms the Ganga river. So I was exactly telling you about two states, Himachal and Uttarakhand. Moving ahead, formed of alluvial soil. These plains are formed of or from alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is to be considered as the richest and the most fertile soil of the entire world. It is found in almost each and every fertile region, fertile plains of the world. And this particular soil is formed from the rivers itself. How? So, rivers originate prominently in the ice peak regions or wherever the glaciers are. Glaciers provide water to the rivers. If you talk about our India concern, so glaciers are providing water to the Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra rivers. So, when these rivers come down from the mountain top, or they do cross the entire mountain region, and as they enter the plains, so they start depositing. As from the slope itself, the rivers do carry all the types of rocks. There are three types of rocks. So, the types whatever types of rocks are lying on the mountains or mountain ranges, the fast flowing river water brings all those rocks collectively while eroding them continuously, and by the time they reach the plains, they get disintegrated and they do form granules, pebbles, sand, clay, soil, silt. So various kind of materials are formed, and when they get deposited in the particular areas from wherever the rivers flow, that is how the plains are formed, and that particular soil that will be present in those regions will be known as alluvial soil. So it is formed by the deposition of alluvium. Alluvium, it is to be considered for the mixture of clay, your sand and particularly silt. So that calls for the richest part of the soil. Deposition of aluminum in a vast basin lying at the foothills. Told you, when the rivers come down as they trying to enter the plains. So just before that, the area is known as foothills of the Himalayas itself over millions of years and formed this fertile plain. So these fertile plains, the particular plains we are talking about, northern plains, so they are not formed, within few years. The process is completely the millions years long, spreads over. So this northern plain is entirely spread over an area of 7 lakh square kilometer, and its length is 2400 kilometer, and its width, the area it's comprising in the width part, is from 240 to 320 kilometers, and it is spread almost in the northern part of India, extended towards the northern eastern direction, not the part I'm talking about. Of course, wherever the flow is of Brahmaputra river in the eastern part of India, there are the Brahmaputra plains as well, but not in that count, because northeast region is known for the mountainous region itself. These plains are densely populated because of the availability of fertile soil, very good for agriculture, actually best for agriculture. So agriculturally productive part of India are these northern plains, and the reason why they are densely populated, because of the presence of rich soil cover, fertile soil cover, adequate water supply for the population as well as agriculture, then favorable climate. The temperature is not in extreme conditions. It is found over there in the survivable circumstances. So the climatic condition neither too hot nor too cold. So survivable conditions are present in the northern plains as compared to the rest of the part of India itself. Rivers coming from northern mountains are involved in the deposition work. The process has been already told to you. Velocity, speed of the river decreases in the lower course as when they are going to enter the plain. So that is to be considered for lower course. Reason for that is that why the speed of the river decreases, because of the gentle slope. If we talk about the mountainous region particularly, so over there gentle slopes are also there and the steep slopes are also there. So until the rivers are moving on gentle slope, the speed of the water will be quite high, and as they enters the lower course or as the slopes become gentle, the speed of the water, velocity of water decreases, and the result is the formation of riverine island. Now island word is clear to you, a land piece, a land mass surrounded by water from all of the sides. But what do you consider by the term riverine? So as is in the process of the deposition of the alluvial soil or whatever rock particles or material comes along with the water from the mountainous region, sometimes this deposition takes place exactly in between the passage of the river itself, and thereby it forms the riverine island, but it occurs with the deposition part itself or deposition process itself. So that is to be considered for riverine islands, and there is only one riverine island in India, and this is the information related to that. Majuli, and only riverine island of the world as well. So quite of important consideration. So this is exactly located in the Brahmaputra river, largest inhabited. Also it is inhabited, means people do live over there at this Majuli riverine island. So largest inhabited riverine island in the world actually. So this is the entire information. And talking about the ahead part, you can see over here rivers in their lower course split into numerous channels. Channels also considered as tributaries and distributaries. So over here we are talking about just the distributary term. Here you can see the main river is flowing, and from there itself several channels are extracting the water from the main river as the water is being distributed among them. So reason is deposition of silt. Suddenly the deposition of silt comes in between and there comes a passage on its own naturally. Now the division of northern plain itself. So as we are going through the northern plains discussion itself, northern plains are entirely divided into three parts. Again, These are formed by the help of or with the help of three major rivers of India. Which are these major rivers? Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. So, the plains that lies in extremely northwest to be considered part of India's Punjab plains. Then comes almost, if we consider the states, UP until West Bengal, Ganga plains, and in the northeast part, Brahmaputra plains. I was talking about it. Now the descriptive part. So, Punjab plains lies in western part of the northern plains formed by the Indus and its tributaries. It has five major tributaries. Jhelum, Chenab that almost flows through Jammu and Kashmir region also, and Ravi, Byas and Satluj. So, these are to be the prominent tributaries of Indus, forming one important state of India as well, and that is the fertile state also. We are going to know about that also. So, origin of these rivers. Himalayas, we are talking about the Indus and these as well. Larger part of this plains lies in Pakistan. It is a fact. If India was not to be partitioned in 1947, the entire northern plain was to be in the Indian territory and India might have leaded in agriculture. The world to be considered, we must be lying on the top rank in the agriculture production of India part itself, as if we were not being separated in India and Pakistan. So this plain is dominated by doabs. As you can see, doab is not an English word. So what does that stands for? Do means two, ab means water. So made up of two words, doab. And the state I was talking about, that is Punjab. Panj means panch. So, five water. So, it's not about that only five water. What do you consider five water for? Nothing. So, it is the worthless word, but we can make this word worthful in the terms of abs. We are talking about the water bodies. So, formed from five water bodies, this fertile state of Punjab. Moving ahead, Ganga plain extends between the Ghaggar and Teesta rivers, spread over North India, comprising particularly Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, and partly Jharkhand and reaching up to Bengal. Already told you the rough extensions of these. Brahmaputra plains lies in the east parts, particularly in Assam. You can consider the head region is of Arunachal Pradesh, then comes Assam and beneath is Meghalaya. So, some part of Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh also comes in Brahmaputra plains. But Assam entirely covers up, and the riverine island we have just discussed about, that lies on this passage of Brahmaputra river in between these plains itself. Then northern plains are generally described as flatland with no variations in its relief, but it's not true. There are variations. There is no such landmass or land piece on this earth that is not having variations. That is the Mother Nature's gift to us. So, these vast plains also have diverse relief features. What are those relief features? Do we have information about that? Yes, we do have. So, division of northern plains particularly, and talking about the variations lying in the northern plains, we do have the division. According to the variations and relief features, northern plains are divided into Bhabar, Bhangar, Terai and Khadar. And I am going to explain this with the help of a particular image as well. So, this is the image. You can see from the mountains, river do enter the plains. At that place, it deposited the pebbles, granules known as Bhabar. Then ahead comes the Terai region, as in this region, the river, or not the particular river, the small streams do disappear. And in the Terai region, they suddenly appear and becomes or forms a marshy land, wetland over there, that is known as Terai. And Bhangar and Khadar are the older and new forms of alluvial soil itself. So, the already lying layer means the topmost layer of the soil, that is of course the alluvial soil. So, on the top we do have Bhangar, and ahead comes then the Khadar. So, old and new alluvium soil. So, but which is old and which is new? We still have to discuss. So, let's discuss that. Talking about Bhabar itself, so rivers after descending, coming down from the mountains, deposit pebbles in a narrow belt extending from 8 to 16 kilometers in the width we are talking about, lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivalik. So where can you find Bhabar? In the foothills of Shivaliks particularly, all the streams disappear in this Bhabar belt. Again, the repetition of diagram is there. Bhabar is to be notified. Going ahead with the discussion of Terai region. So, south of Bhabar, over here you can consider the Bhabar is at the first, then comes the Terai. So, southern part of Bhabar belt. The streams and rivers re-emerge and create a wet, swampy and marshy region, kind of quite muddy region. This was a thickly forested region full of wildlife. If we are talking about was, it means they are not present at this moment. And what's the reason for that? So the forests have been cleared for or to create agricultural land and to settle migrants from Pakistan after partition. So we are talking about the Himalayan region and the Bhabar and Terai region, that is particularly found in the foothills of Shivalik itself, but nearby the Pakistan territory itself. And not only in Pakistan, we are talking about the entire northern part. Northern part just comprises till UP itself. Thereafter goes the northern eastern states, or you can consider the entire UP also in that. So moving ahead with this part, Bhangar itself now. Largest part of the northern plain formed of older alluvium is known as Bhangar and the new alluvium is known as Khadar. So it lies above the floodplains of the rivers, presents a terrace-like feature. So all these are the prominent features of Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar and Khadar. We have to learn all these points. Soil in this region contains calcareous. Calcareous, it means the soil present in Bhangar region is quite rich in calcium carbonate, locally known as Kankar also. So the other name of Bhangar is known as Kankar itself, but not entirely. The particular region that comprises calcium carbonate is to be considered as Kankar. And I hope you consider the word Kankar. It is the Hindi word itself. Talking about the Khadar, it is newer and younger deposit of the floodplain. So question does comes that which is the older and which is the new alluvium soil, and match the following Phillips likewise. So it is fertile also. Although the prior one, the Bhangar, is also fertile, but we are talking about the new part. So from the old soil, we can consider that that's major of the nutrients or few nutrients can become in the less amount, as in due to the usage of that soil. As this is the new soil, so less uses of those nutrients can lead to the increase in the count or amount of those particular nutrients required by the soil. Reasons are these are renewed almost every year and ideal for intensive agriculture. Agriculture done for the subsistence farming. Yes, you are getting it right. Subsistence farming, where the agriculture is done for one's own consumption. So by the farmer for its family's sake. Now that was all about the division and the explanatory part of the plains itself. Now we are going to discuss the peninsular plateau. Peninsular plateau, so we are talking about the peninsular part of India, that is in the southern India itself. So the part of India, southern part of India, that is protruding towards or extending towards the Indian Ocean, that is known as the peninsular plateau. Plateaus are also known as flatland. So a tableland or flatland composed of the old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. There are three types of rocks: igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. Igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic, three types of rocks are found on the mountainous region. But if you talk about the peninsular, so they are more hard as compared to the mountains. So they are comprised of only igneous and metamorphic rocks. And igneous rocks are formed by the solidification of lava. So they have crystalline structure and crystalline appearance. Crystalline, shiny and glittery one. So these are formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land. Gondwana land, it's a part of the oldest landmass. Oldest, if we talk about, the first ever split up was of Gondwana land, and Laurasia land. I have already explained that part to you. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys, as you can see in this image. Shallow means having quite a depth, but not, to be considered in the deeper concern. So their depth is quite into the few of the thousands of meters as well. But if we talk about the depth of the valleys lying in mountains, so there is a difference between that. These do have rounded hills also. So plateaus at somewhat places have rounded hills. Coming ahead is the division of the plateau. So authentically, this peninsular plateau can be divided into three plateaus. That is Deccan Plateau, Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. But the Malwa majority time is to be considered for the Central Highland itself. So let's discuss that. Again, I was talking about Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau itself. So this is the Deccan Plateau region, Central Highlands. So this is also known as Malwa Plateau as well. So the prior division was this. Now ahead it's being named as Central Highland from, you can consider, few decades itself. In our time it was to be considered as Malwa Plateau, and right now also it is to be considered, but in geographical term we are taking it as Central Highlands itself. Talking about the features of Central Highland, part of the peninsular plateau lying to the north of the Narmada river. So Narmada is a river that originates from the Vindhyachal ranges that lies almost by this territory of Maharashtra and Gujarat. So Narmada is a river that flows westward. Within the southern India, there are 6 major rivers. In the upcoming chapter, climate, and then ahead coming is the drainage chapter. So in drainage chapter, we are going to talk about entire river system. Over there, it will be explained to you. So for while now, just consider the Narmada river, as it lies in the north of Narmada river. So it is lying in the north of Narmada river itself. It covers a major area of the Malwa plateau, as I was talking about. So you are going to see both these relevant words in either or places. Vindhyachal range or Vindhyan range is bounded by Satpura range on the south, Aravali's in the or on the northwest. So Narmada originates from the Vindhyachal itself, and if I have to consider the prior part of the map, so we are talking about the upside. West side lies the Aravali itself. Aravali mountain ranges, these are not the new mountain, these are the old mountains. Himalayas are the new mountain and also the fold mountain as well. So the oldest mountain range of India is to be Aravali. We are talking about that part itself. Westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. So Aravali's ahead is the part of desert region, Thar desert, that lies completely in the western part of Rajasthan, and of course in western part of India as well, northwest to be considered. Rivers in this region that flows in this region are Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Kane. These flow from southwest to southeast, southwest to southeast, and it indicates the slope. It means, what does it means? As the rivers are flowing from southwest to northeast, it means there is the slope towards the northeast region. Then our part is of width. So wider in the west and narrower in the east. We are talking about the plateau's width. So these are wider in west and narrower in the east part, because if we talk about the northeastern part, it is lying in the narrow patch itself. It's not the extended part of the landmass. So eastward extension of this plateau, locally known as Bundelkhand and Baghelkhand, the ancient terms we are talking about, that was to be used prior than this. So Chota Nagpur Plateau, the third one I was talking about, marks the further eastward extension and drained by the Damodar river. So we are talking about the eastward extension, and I hope this image is going to help you. Chota Nagpur Plateau, and as you can see and identify some names, this is a region comprising few states, states of Odisha, West Bengal, and a bit of Andhra Pradesh as well, Jharkhand also. So this is that region where the few or one of the largest coal mines and other minerals are also present. Deccan Plateau, this is the second part. triangular landmass lies to the south of the river Narmada. So, northern part of the Narmada comprises Central Highland, southern part of the Narmada comprises Deccan Plateau. Satpura range flanks its, so we had a word about the Vindhyan range in the case of Central Highland. Now we are talking about Satpura range flanks its broad base in the north. So Mahadev, Kemur Hills, Maikal ranges forms its eastern extension, and extension within the Satpura range and toward the extension part itself. Deccan Plateau is higher. Now we are talking about the width. We had the discussion about the width of the Central Highland. Now we are talking about Deccan Plateau. So it's higher in the west and slopes gently eastward. An extension of plateau is also visible in the northeast, locally known as Meghalaya. So Central Highland extension is also known as Baghelkhand and Bundelkhand, and the Deccan Plateau's our eastward extension is also known as Meghalaya. You know, one of the seven sisters of northeastern states, Karbi Anglong Plateau and North Kachar Hills comprises this regions. It's separate, or it is separated by a fault, a crack from the Chota Nagpur Plateau itself. Ahead, three prominent hill ranges lies in this plateau region from west to east. West to east. So we can consider now quite obviously that there is a natural slope occurring from west towards the east part. So Garo, Khasi and Jayante hill ranges, three important hill ranges are located in this region, and these regions receive the maximum rainfall of the world we are talking about. Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats mark the western and the eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau. We are going to soon discuss about the Western and Eastern Ghats as well. Then, okay, I was talking about Western Ghats and here is the Western Ghats. I thought why not to talk about a bit more, but as this slide do want to come in front of you right now. It lies parallel to the western coast. So simply if I have to give the location of western and eastern Ghats on the Indian map. So this is the southern part of India. Everyone can easily recognize being in 9th class. And this is the west direction. There lies the Arabian Sea. This is the east direction. There lies the Bay of Bengal. As this is the eastern direction, there lies the eastern Ghats. And this is the western direction, there lies the western Ghats. So my drawing almost have already informed you about the thing that I want to state, and this is that western Ghats are not frequently split up into different parts as eastern Ghats are. So they are continuously and they are in split ups. So they are not in a continuous range. So coming back to the track of the descriptive part. So these lies parallel to the western coasts and are continuous ranges, can be crossed through passes only, causes orographic rain by facing the rain bearing moist winds to rise along the west slopes of the Ghats. So was the descriptive thing, but let me help you with that. I don't think so all of you are able to get it at first. So what does this entire statement says? Let's read it once. Cause. What cause? Western Ghats causes orographic rainfall. Orographic means, or orographic rain means, the rainfall or the rain that occurs due to the presence of any particular physical feature. And the particular physical feature hereby we are talking about is mountains, or the hilly or mountainous region of Western Ghats. And of course, we can seek the help of this diagram as well. And Western Ghats lie by the west side. Here lies the water body, and monsoon enters from the western part of India itself. If not to be considered, still a water body is there, and whatever winds will originate from this water body, they are going to enter India mainland, and these mountain ranges of Western Ghats are not allowing these heavy winds. Why the winds will become heavy? Because they are occupying water vapor content within them. So the molecules become dense of these winds and they are unable to lift themselves higher than these mountains. So what they have to do? They have to give the rainpour in the terms, they have to give the rain to this region so that they should shed some amount of water vapor, and they will become lighter and they are going to lift themselves and will blow ahead towards the ahead region. So this is the context. So what are the rainfall concerns in the Western Ghats? On the Western Ghats, so on the Western Ghats, orographic rainfall occurs due to these mountains presence. They does not let the winds originating from this Arabian Sea, rain bearing wind, just pass through it, as they are heavier, so they have to shed their moisture in the form of rainfall on the Western Ghats. So another information and another important information over here is Western Ghats receive maximum rainfall as compared to the entire mainland of India itself, and also known by different local names as well. Then ahead is height of the Western Ghats progressively increases from north to south. It does have some highest peaks, Annamurai or Annamudi, Annaimudi, Annamudi, Annaimudi. So there are several names. Some are locally known and some are the geographical names. So Annaimudi, its height, Doda Beta, its height, and average elevation. Average height of the peaks lying in this Western Ghats is from 900 to 1600 meters, and they are higher than the Eastern Ghats. It means Eastern Ghats are much lower. Let's talk about the Eastern Ghats as well, so that there will be no doubt. And if we are comparing Eastern and Western Ghats over here, we are talking about both of them. So please consider the differentiation question for Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats do comes. The difference between Central Highland and Deccan Plateau do comes. Then the difference between any of the geographical features, 6 of them we are talking about in this entire chapter, any of the differentiation can come. So that's why I am telling you to particularly learn this, understand this, so that you can easily write the difference question. And one more information related to the differentiation question, how to answer them, how to solve them. Always give the answer in tabular form, making a table like I was mentioning, and the point of difference should be same always, and always wherever the first point is starting in the first part, or likewise this is the Western Ghats and this is the Eastern Ghats. Okay, so if the first point is starting from here, you can't start the first from here. The first has to be started in front of each other. Similar goes with the second and third option. So few instructions, but the prominent one, it should be learned by you. Otherwise your marks can be deducted. So Eastern Ghats stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiri in the south, Nilgiri hills that lies almost at the borders of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka part. Discontinuous, as I've told you, they are split into 2 or 3 parts and they are irregular. Western Ghats are continuous and are regular. They are dissected. Why they are split? Why they are not in continuity? Because they are dissected by the rivers draining into Bay of Bengal. So 4 major rivers of southern India, along with the tributaries and distributaries. So their existence is the responsible reason for discontinuousness of or irregularity of these Eastern Ghats. Average elevation 600 meters and the highest peak is Mahendragiri, that is having height of 1500, almost 1501 is 1500 only. Then Shivroy Hills and Javdi Hills are prominently located on over here, located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghats. Then we do have Udgamandalam, that is a famous hill station, and the Ooty and Kodaikanal. These hill stations lies in this particular part of the Eastern Ghats itself. Quite an awkward name, but it can be learned easily. If can't be learned, at least spelling can be learned. Deccan Trap. So Deccan Trap, Deccan is the English name of the south direction. Of course, south is the English name, but Deccan is the English version of Dakshin. Dakshin, Deccan. So you must be wondering, Deccan Trap, we are talking about the peninsular plateau. No, we are not talking about entirely that, but we are hereby talking about the black soil area of the peninsular plateau. And according to the geologists, the origin of this Deccan Trap is from the volcanic eruption. So volcanic origin of this Deccan Trap. That is why it is having black soil, because black is the color of the igneous soil. Igneous soil, the first ever rocks, the parent rocks that are formed from the solidification of or cooling down of lava itself. And how does lava appears on the Earth's surface? Quite obviously with the volcanic eruption. So my point is logic over here. These rocks have denuded over time and are denuded, we are talking about disintegrated, eroded over time, and are responsible for the formation of black soil. And if we talk about the Deccan Trap, prominently we are talking about the westward part particularly. And in particular part, we are talking about Gujarat and Maharashtra. These two states prominently, significantly have the abundance of black soil that is very good for the cultivation of cotton. So, hence, black soil is also known as cotton soil. Again, extra information. Then Aravalli Hills, so they lies on the western and northern western margins of the peninsular plateau, and we are talking about the Aravalli Hills that lies in western part, not exactly western, it lies almost in between the eastern and western part of Rajasthan. There is the extension of Aravalli Hills. Highly eroded hills because they are the oldest hills, oldest ranges of India along with the world itself, one of the oldest ranges. So they are eroded by the time, by the passing time. They are found as broken hills. Now they are not found in range. They are now at present in the individual hill forms. As if I have to give an example right now, you can consider the Jaipur region of Rajasthan. They are extended from Gujarat to Delhi in a southwest to northeast direction itself. So that is the location of Aravalli Hills itself. And that is how we are going to sum up our today's class itself. So learning outcome for today's classes, we have discussed about geographical features and divisions of northern plains along with the peninsular plateau itself. Along with that, features discussion, we have talked about division. And in the terms of division, plains, three types of plains, plateau particularly to Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. Of course, we have discussed few other things besides than that comes in collective features itself. Now it's the time for the recalling part, so let's do it quickly. Question number 1. What type of soil predominantly that is present already over there from the northern plains? So what type of soil predominantly already, or at the first, whatever soil was present in this region that has formed the southern plain. So which is predominantly, and pre means prior and dominantly, if we have to split this word to understand the word, pre means priorly, dominantly, dominating, present in the entire region. So which soil is present in the entire region at prior? That is alluvial soil. Prior means we are talking about two types of alluvial soil, old and new over here. Second question, which of the following feature is not? Wherever not comes, kindly understand the question carefully. Otherwise, you can write the entirely, vice versa answer for this case. So, which of the following features is not a part of the northern plains diverse relief? We are talking about Bhabar is there, Tarai is there, Bhangar is there, but Deccan Trap is not there. Deccan Trap lies in Plateau region, Peninsular Plateau. Lastly, which hill range is not? Again, not is there, so be careful. So, which hill range is not a part of the northeast extension of Deccan Plateau? We are talking about northeast part, and Peninsula lies in the southern part of India. So, Garo, Khasi and Jaintia, northeast part. But in here we do have a different case of Aravalli Hills that is entirely lying in the western part. So, this is all about our today's class itself. Of course, we are going to meet up soon in the next class with the discussion of the ahead, our geographical features of India. So, till then, take care, bye-bye. And of course, please lay emphasis on your study part. Kindly, you can just carry on with the writing part of the notes, or you can just verbally learn it. But please focus on your studies. You are in 9th class. Boards are coming ahead. So, see you soon in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.